Hello, everyone. I am so excited to see you today. Today, I have a screen shattering message for you. You want to know why? Because as I was sitting down and doing my morning strength journal exercises, I was feeling guided to share a message with you. A really clear message was coming through to me about how can we create more love in our lives. And when I went to sit down to set up all the tech to start filming, I dropped my computer screen on my desk and it cracked. Um, Crisis averted. We were able to turn off the touch screen, so nothing is malfunctioning, but I just can't, there are no accidents, right? I think that this was just, it's probably going to be tied into the message today. I have a feeling. So let's get into it. So today, as part of this, how can we create more love message? I pulled a card for myself that really aligned with this, and I felt guided that I needed to also share it with you. And that card is it's from the Sarah McCormick Soul Care Oracle card deck. And I will link this deck in the description. Whether I am able to get an affiliate link for that or not, I'll share with you where I bought that deck in case you're interested. But the card was Pluto. And it says, I transform through my shadow. And so I have been this has really been coming up for me a lot lately, which tells me that this is something that's also coming up in the collective energy. It's something that I've learned about myself is that I tend to go through things like just a smidge in advance of the collective. It's like, when I hear astrologers give their reports and they talk about the energy of the current transits, it's interesting because I always feel like I'm just like slightly ahead of everybody else having all these feelings. So that just tells me that I'm meant to um, help you guys through it because I've already been working through this just a little bit. So what's been happening for me lately is that I have been really transforming my business, my service offerings, and really bringing them into alignment with what lights me up, what brings me joy, but also what I truly believe that I am here on this planet to do, and to serve people doing, right? What people actually need in this world. And so as I've been going through this process, what's been happening is a lot of my shadow stuff has been coming up because what happens when we transform and when we want to step into the next version of ourselves, all of the stuff that's getting in the way of becoming that new version of ourselves will present itself not as punishment, but as a reflection of that which we can change so that we can actually have the thing that we want. This is why there's so many spiritual teachers out there that tell us to focus, to learn to appreciate the challenges, because there really truly is a gift hidden in all of those challenges. And that is exactly what I just said. It is the secret to getting to your next level and making your next improvement. So I want to read this Pluto transformation card for you today. The keywords are transformation, rebirth, transmutation, renewal, evolution, destruction, and cycles of life. The affirmation is, I transform through my shadow. And the message is, deep in the ground, minerals mix together and are put under pressure by the intense heat of the Earth's core. Transforming into something new, this cosmic alchemy is what gives us some of the most beautiful gemstones and treasures that shine with brilliant colors. Only through this intense process are these stones created, a reminder of what beauty can come from the darkness. The Pluto card shows us how to mix all the ingredients we have together so we can transform and transmute our experience into something different from what it originally was. We never know exactly how things will look when we emerge on the other side of this transformative experience, but we have faith that we'll be able to spread our wings and soar again. The soul care call for this card is alchemy hurts. It wrings you out, it breaks you down, and turns you into something else entirely. Change, although an aspect of life we cannot avoid, is sometimes uncomfortable. It can be difficult, and it's important to acknowledge that you're in a period of transition. Let yourself feel your feelings and know that this will pass. So, yeah, we're in this transformative period. So let's go a little bit deeper with the message and pull some tarot. I'm just using the Rider-Waite deck, and I'll also link that below for you guys. But yeah, think about it. Transformation kind of has to hurt a little bit. We've got to die to our old self, our old ways of doing things. And you know, whether you have a goal of transforming or not, I don't think that we can avoid it, right? We're constantly transforming and evolving. You know, we're constantly evolving, transforming as we evolve, right? And so we have to become a new version of ourselves, you know, as life happens and as things change. We have to continuously become the kind of person who can deal with those things. And, you know, just as we age, right, you know, we don't stay a kid forever. We become an adult and we need to learn how to be an adult. And then we become a senior and we need to learn how to become a senior adult. There's just constant change and constant letting go. But the pain shows up showing us where our attachments are. And so I'm going to pull 5 cards from the tarot today so that we can explore what we can release, what we can keep, what we can nurture and grow, what we can learn, and what we can embody as we deal with the transformation of this current time. Now, if you guys are into astrology, Uranus just entered Gemini. And so there's a really strong energy of change in the air because Uranus is the planet of shaking things up and, you know, kind of making you rebel against the status quo. I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not going to get too deep into that, but I just want you to know that the alignments, the planetary alignments, are supporting this transformation energy immensely right now. And so let's get into it. So, all right, so what can we release? All right, the first position, the first card that comes up is the 3 of Coins. Coins are about earth, body, material, stability. They are about our manifestations. And if we're, you know, I know I'm talking to solopreneurs here, right? And so maybe this shows up in the manifestation of how you deliver your service offerings, right? So the 3 of Coins shows a man speaking on a platform, almost like his little stage here, and speaking to the townspeople. And that can represent maybe how you are delivering your services or just how you're showing up in the world, how you are potentially collaborating with others, learning and implementing whatever your service offerings are or however you serve the world, right? Maybe it isn't associated with a business. Maybe this is how you are collaborating with your family or another community somewhere. But coins tend to lean toward things that are related to money and work, but they can also relate to health, and your physical reality and manifestations, essentially, right? So what if we're looking at this in terms of what we can release? It probably has something to do with the way that we are interacting with other people, the way that we are probably serving others. So let's look at some of the other cards in the spread and get a little bit more clarity on that. In the second position, we've got the Page of Wands reversed. And so this represents an enthusiasm, exploration, discovery, and being a free spirit. But it's reversed, and in the reversed position, it's like the opposite of that, right? And I always like to say that the reversed position is pointing to the medicine. So, we may be running in the reverse position, we may be running into setbacks, or maybe new ideas are coming in and we're not believing in them, right? Like, in the upright position, the page is enthusiastic, but in the upside down position, he's probably a little hesitant and not so sure about his service offerings, right? And so, yeah, the message is becoming clear. Maybe we are releasing the old way that we are providing for others, that we are collaborating with others, maybe the way that we are delivering our services. And there's some new ideas coming in, the Page of Wands reversed, and we're not having confidence in them yet because it's scary, it's unknown, right? We don't know what's going to happen next. So, but we do know that the old way of doing things must be released because it's in the old position. And returning to our theme card, if you will, this is about transforming through our shadow. In the third position, in our nurturing and growing position, we've got disagreement, competition, strife, tension, conflict. That's the Five of Wands. But the Five of Wands was also reversed. So that means conflict avoidance, diversity, agreeing to disagree, right? So, okay, it's really becoming clear. So with regard to the old way of serving things, maybe you were not paying attention to places where there was disagreement, right? Maybe you were out of alignment with your old way of service offerings, of offering service, and you weren't really paying attention. You were avoiding the ways in which you are being shown that this particular way of delivering service was out of alignment with you. And you were just kind of continuing along, agreeing to disagree. Maybe you had a client that wasn't quite in alignment for you, but you kept working with them anyway. Well, now that is coming up for healing. That is becoming clear this week. And you are being shown that you can't continue to move forward in this way. You're being shown that even a slight misalignment is still misalignment. That's definitely what I'm getting in this card. And the reason why it's in the nurture and grow position is because you need to understand that if it's not a hell yes, then it is a hell no. And I know I can completely relate to this. It is, especially as business owners, it is so hard to say no that any money that comes our way. I was just out to dinner with someone who was not necessarily a business owner themselves, and they made a comment that said, "Oh, you can't say no to a client when it comes to you." And I didn't correct them, but in the back of my mind, I was like, it's clear to me that you are not a business owner or that you have not had enough experience in business, because once you get into business, you absolutely have to say no to clients who are out of alignment with you, right? And we were just having friendly conversations, so it wasn't like a situation where I needed to correct this person at all. But that was a lesson for me. I was like, oh wow, yeah, that, like, it just brought to my attention, like, yes, that is a kind of a rookie mistake, I guess you could say, as young business owners. A lot of times, we need to go through that period of time where we think, oh my gosh, I just have to take all the work that comes my way, right? But no, once you get into the thick of really trying to run your business and really trying to optimize your operations, you see that you really want all of the cogs in the wheels to fit perfectly, so that that business machine can run like a well-oiled machine, or like a clock that runs without any flaws, right? Like clockwork, I guess you could say. Okay, so the next position is our learning position. And so what do we have to learn today? This is Ace of Cups is in reverse. So it's really interesting. The three cards right in the middle of this spread are reversed. So, we've got like a medicine sandwich here. So the Ace of Cups reverse. So in the upright position, the Ace of Cups represents love, new relationships, compassion, and creativity. But it's in the reversed position, so that means we want to turn it inwards towards ourselves and apply self-love. We want to listen to our intuition. So having that relationship with ourselves where we trust our intuition, and where we take a look at repressed emotions. So in the learning position, I think what we're doing is we're learning, what is it that actually aligns with us? What is it that lights us up in our service delivery, right? Those are the kinds of clients, those are the kinds of projects, those are the kinds of activities that we want to involve ourselves in, the ones that allow us to approach things with compassion, that approach to kind of add that love into what we're doing, right? Cups are about water, our heart, our emotions, and our relationships, our feelings, that love connection. So paying attention to what the actual connection feels like, right? What is the emotion that you're feeling when you are working with a cringe client? Michael Michalowicz likes to call it a cringe client versus a client that really lights you up, an ideal client, right? The ideal clients are going to let that love flow through freely. But if you have a client that is out of alignment, you're probably going to be feeling more drained, and it's going to feel, there's going to be more resistance happening. It's not going to feel as expansive. It's not going to flow as easily. You're probably going to run into more challenges than usual, right? It's not that ideal clients never present us with any challenges at all, but the challenges they present us with are different, right? They're good challenges. And the way we're able to move through those challenges, there's a level of greater ease that comes with it. And so I think we're learning how our emotions are our guidance, essentially. And so embracing that is going to help us move forward. Now, this is what we want to embody. The King of Swords. The King of Swords has mental clarity. He is intellectual. He is standing in his authority. he is connected to the earth there. Look, his throne is not on a block of, concrete like a lot of some of these other kings in the deck are. He is directly planted right on that earth. So he has a foundation that is, connected to the universe in a way that some of the other kings are not. Um, it's also about mental clarity, right? So, as I was saying, with this Ace of Cups and learning to read the energy of our emotions and what that is telling us about some of these client engagements that we might be getting into, um, you know, he is he's clear on that. He knows what it feels like to align with an aligned client and to be in aligned service. Um, so yeah, this is about thoughts, communication, and decisions, right? That's what swords represent. And um, so in the embodiment position, we really want to, um, exhibit leadership, authority, mastery, and control in the areas of thoughts, communication, and decisions. So, what does that mean? Keeping our thoughts positive, being an open and transparent communicator, and making decisions that, um, we are clear are that 100% hell yes. So, let me just take a step back and see if there's anything that really, yeah, that connection to the earth. It's he's coming from a really grounded place. That's what I wanted to say about that. So he's really grounded, right? He's not in the, he's not getting all of these crazy ideas that are really far out there. They're grounded in reality and what he knows works. Again, there's a butterfly above his head as well. Actually, his throne has multiple butterflies on that, indicating transformation. And these look like moons. I'm not sure if they exactly are moons, but since that is what I am getting from the card, I'm going to go ahead and say, like, he's been through, he has enough experience to have the wisdom, where he has transformed through his shadows, right? Like, so he's gone through the gunk, if you will, to help himself transform through his shadow. And so it's almost as if that's his supportive pillar that he's leaning up against, right? Is that's, that he's operating by experience and wisdom and not just, outlandish fantasy ideas that he's not sure if they're going to work or not. So he's making just sound decisions based on actual experience. So that's what we want to embody today. And yeah, again, I just want to, I'm not sure if I said this already, but overall, the overall message is how can we create more love in our lives and in our business? And it's by not being afraid to look at the places where we're out of alignment, right? And so that is exactly what the King of Swords has mastered. He is able to look at the places where, maybe his service delivery has not been fulfilling him or his business in some way. And so he looks at the places where it's not working, and he makes change. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that is the message for today. I trust that you found this to be helpful, and am wishing you all the best. Let me know how this landed for you. Let me know what your thoughts were. If anything came up for you, I'd love to hear what you're going through right now. If there's any way that I can help, I'd love to support you. Until next time.